This is Robert Forsch with the YouTube channel Truth. I've got the Cybertruck here with the racing sticker. I sent one of these to Elon Musk, a shirt like this. And I've got yours truly in the Photoshop because it has to be at this point. So there you go. What I wanted to show too is this is part of the wetware detoxification. I go ahead and bathe in the highly purified carbon filtered water, and been up for about 5 hours now before the sunrise that I'm headed on out to. Wanted to show you the system that I use to do this. There's my office right there. Kind of cool, isn't it? Actually, it's my broadcast studio, as well as this is the reverse osmosis technology right there. You can see that. And then when the jug overflows, it'll just go into the washing machine there. No problemo. I should be back before that happens, though. I heat up 1/3 of the water on the stove in stainless. That works great. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so I'm going to take us on out and talk a little bit about that. I'll do a broadcast from here later on, but for today I want to take us out to the ocean for a sunrise view. So it's about 27 degrees outside right now. Cold enough that the bird bath is frozen, solid ice in there. We're headed over that way. The ocean is about 4 miles away. Quite a bit of frost on the vehicle. There's virtually no wind movement right now. And you can see that. And I'm going to take us on out there. Now, I know enough about Tesla, at least so far, that I'm sure that if there were a, yeah, I'm going to have to flip this around. So I would think, let me do this. Okay. And I'm going to need to have a little light on the subject. So with the Cybertruck wanting to have a snowplow on it, I'm sure that would void just about any warranty if somebody were to put that together themselves. So that's why I wanted to talk about that. A Cybertruck with an augmented battery system. You could put a welder in the back or a generator in the back to charge the battery if you're in the upper Michigan and you need to plow snow for 25 hours. That happens. People have to plow for a long time. And then the other thing is you could just have a big, massive battery pack that you have a quick connect at your household, kind of like the Powerwall, but only something that's designed to continually charge the vehicle. A lot of times they'll put extra weight in the back of a vehicle. You could just slip a battery pack in there. If you're got the kind of like a welding shop and you got a forklift, you could put it in, or you could have it on a dolly that's bed height and slide it in and out if you wanted to, something like that. But because of the exoskeleton and the 30 times stainless hardened material, that would be a RoboCop style police vehicle too. I could see it all rigged up for the good police. There's good police and bad police, I'm sure. You've seen, I'm sure, about corruption that has occurred in law enforcement, even at the highest levels. I would want to be one of the people that is, I believe, one of the good guys. I'm telling the truth. I'm going to flip this around right now and show you on the way in what this looks like. So what's kind of interesting, just so you're probably aware, when I'm featuring Tesla technology, including the electrification of vehicles and the stabilization of the power grid by adding batteries in it. I've been following electric vehicles and wanting to have an electric car for a long time, longer than Tesla is alive as a corporation. And I've been following this whole thing for a long time. Looks like I might have law enforcement up in front of me there. Looks like, let's see. Yep, yes it is. And I'm going exactly the speed limit, 45. Can you see them? Let's see if I zoom in on them a little bit. Yeah, whoops, not good. I hate it when that happens. So anyway, it's kind of interesting. Oh, I want to flip this around now too, and I'll show you. Right now, it's so calm that the moisture is just evaporating off of the retention pond there. In Wisconsin tonight, it's in the low 20s, apparently. Used to live there. The coldest weather I've ever felt is when I was winching uh, boats that were frozen in a in a field. They were frozen in ice on trailers, and the wind chill was 85 degrees below zero. Have you ever felt that? That's Fahrenheit, anyway, what it was. And it was extremely cold. It was painfully cold. So I had the truck running to with the heater on full, and I had layers upon layers, and it was tough. And you can get killed doing stuff like that, winching boats. I've operated heavy equipment, operated welders, all that kind of stuff, fabrication on prototype equipment. So this is a shout out to Elon. He knows who I am, I would think. I sent him a tube about 4 feet tall and 3 feet around with kind of like a rocket with photocopies of the Cybertruck and me and the uh, Tesla Roadster. Tesla Racing. I'd love to see Tesla, uh, the Roadster, actually be the pace car for the Indy 500 and other races as well. The top speed on the Roadster is faster than an Indy car, apparently on that track, but I don't know if with the weight distribution and the traction to weight ratio, would there need to be augmented aerodynamics to give the downforce to keep the car from flying off the track at 250 miles an hour. I don't know. I don't know. These are things that I don't know. So I thought about this morning. Somebody could say, "Hey, you know what? You're getting a little friendly with Elon and all of that." What I would say is I'm exposing what I believe the good things are about Tesla. I really like a lot of what's going on there, and I'm also interacting with people that have YouTube channels that are also favorable about Tesla. I felt the car slide to the side a little bit. There was some black ice right back there. Have you ever driven on black ice? It's pretty freaking scary. Yeah, in here, I mean, I've been here where there was a car rolled over on its side because we had black ice and it was like 50 degrees and sunny when it happened, but there were tall evergreen trees, pine trees that made shade, so the black ice was still there. The people never saw it coming. In a coastal region like this, we get some interesting anomalies. So there you go with that. And this is the Intracoastal Waterway. It's tidal affected, and the high tide right now is right around sunrise, real close to it. I had a chance to tweet back to Elon and the post. I retweeted it. You can see it on my Twitter my Twitter if you like. Uh, and I just put hashtag snowplow question mark on the comment about the ride height of the Tesla Cybertruck. I do have a referral code because I've ordered the tri-motor 4-wheel drive. I would love to have one. I don't know if it'll happen uh, for because of a variety of reasons, but I would be willing to go with it. I believe it would be very, very interesting, even though it's autonomous. And I'm a little bit hesitant to have the artificial intelligence take over the wheel. You know, when I'm going around a corner like this, I like to be the one driving it. Yeah, feels good. Yeah, there's no merging lane here, so I'm used to driving a car like I ride a motorcycle. It's a little bit different because I ride like I'm invisible and nobody can see me, and I've audited the Tesla autonomous driving days, and I've actually got a lot of Elon Musk information on my channel, including Neuralink, uh, Elon's warning of killer robots going down the street. Man, it's too late if we got killer robots going down the street. Well, what's an autonomous vehicle? How about a Cybertruck that can have armor glass on it? How about that? And stainless steel exoskeleton. I'm envisioning something like uh, the mounting a snowplow on a Cybertruck. It would be very interesting, but I believe you could put a solid plate underneath the bottom, underneath the battery that would bolt on, and it should be no problem. One of the advantages for law enforcement, I would believe, would be what an image to have a Cybertruck police law enforcement package, all the blue light special. How about that? And it'd be very quick and very intimidating, no doubt, no doubt. If you had to do some defensive or intervene with the vehicle to push the back end of a vehicle trying to get away, it could happen really easily with that vehicle. It would be one bad looking uh, law enforcement package vehicle, potentially with a lot higher top speed. I would say you could have if you wanted to, but being with the, I believe it's 130 mile an hour top speed, that those motors could be tweaked to operate a lot faster. I'm sure you all know that, and tires could be a lot lower. That would be important too. You would want to have a lower weight distribution. I used to refer to it as lower center of gravity. It's lower weight distribution. The whole gravity thing is the factors of kinetic energy and the actual repeatable, observable reality. That's all still in play. I just use different terminology and know how it works different than I used to. So, right at the end of the street is where I captured the local sun video. If you hashtag local sun, you'll find a whole lot of very interesting content there about that. We've got a local sun, the firmament. We've got lights that operate just the same way every day, every day. So this is a V8 with 250,000 miles on it. It's the Truth Mobile. Up in the middle of the view there, that is the Prince Resort right in front of the Cherry Grove Fishing Pier. I'll be going out to the parking lot. What I envisioned was buildings like this have lightning rods on them. You might be able to see that. Could you harvest lightning bolts and power large capacitors that could supercharge vehicles? I believe it's possible. I also believe that the power lines that are running around all over the face of this stationary and level Earth could actually currently being harvesting electricity from the ether. When you think ether, think lightning bolts and the aurora borealis. How about that? We live in an electric environment, swimming in a sea of electricity. Some of it is man-made. I do believe we have power plants, of course, that generate a lot of electricity. Right in the middle of the view, we're looking at ice in the parking lot. How about that? Nice looking Lexus there. Oh, it's a Hyundai. Oh my gosh. How about that? So there we go. I'm going to go ahead and put my camera together. and tripod. And so I'll be just a moment. You should be able to hear me on this. I'm using the AirPods Pro for my sound. Seems to work pretty well. And what I'm going to do too, I've got the P1000 that I'm going to rig up here with the camera on the top of it. I'll show you how that works. So yeah, 27 degrees. The wind is out of the northwest at feels like about 7 miles an hour. What a beautiful day, huh? So this is what people see when they're behind me on the road or walking around the vehicle here. Makes it easy to find me. If you hashtag me, you'll find the results there. It's kind of a big deal because of the censorship that's going on. We've got computer hardware, software, and wetware. We're the wetware. How about that? So when I think of antivirus protection, what I've been talking about, we are the wetware. In between our ears, at 3 pounds or however much the brain weighs, it's being contaminated with toxins while I'm perpetually detoxifying. That's what I do. So this is the setup here. Got to be careful so I don't shut the broadcast off. Some of this may be repeated because I'm going to go ahead and activate the P1000. And so I'll do that right now. So I've got the P1000 recording simultaneously. You'll be able to see the sun zoomed in, really interesting. We're at about 27 degrees, offshore wind at about 7 miles an hour. Feel free to reach out anytime. You can call me if you like. That'll be just fine. I'm at the Prince Resort in Cherry Grove, South Carolina, and this is the Cherry Grove Fishing Pier. The tide is coming in right now. High tide will be right about sunrise. Right down there in the middle of the view is where I met a Google executive on the beach, right about where I was hit by lightning about a year earlier. Looks like we've got a plane coming in. I'm going to zoom in on them. So these lights that are above the on the street there, they're LEDs. They stay on all the time, and they may be rigged up with 5G. Thank you very much. Zoomed in on the Elvis logo. That was part of where I got the. You feel yourself spinning, wobbling, or gyrating. Thank you. Thank you very much. Elvis the pelvis. That's where I got the gyrating comment there. It's kind of funny, kind of humorous, been heard about 40 million times, along with we don't have toilet water flying out on people in Australia because of gravity. Well, hello, it's just water seeking its level. This is what water does. So that's not possible. I'm just going to rotate the camera a bit to let you see the absurdity of what that would look like. You'll be able to see it a little bit different with the P1000. It may seem a little bit silly, but keep in mind there's much of humanity believes that we live on a spinning water ball hurling through space. It's not even possible. So I'm telling on them. The water is probably in the low 50s, high 40s. Today the sun will appear right over in that area. In the summer it appears way over there. Today it will set way over there. In the summer it sets way over there. We've got a 1% moon that is already up. Not going to see it. Not now. I'm geared up for the job. Waterproof tall boots work nice for being out here. I can put the lens of the camera in locations that it'd be pretty uncomfortable if I didn't have the boots on. So this is electrolyte, salt water. The building that's going to go right here in the parking lot, supposed to be a Hampton Inn. Up on top of the building here, I'm going to zoom in and show you with the P1000. That's a lightning rod right there. And then there's another one right there. Imagine, if you will, a world where lightning bolts charge up electric cars through a network of capacitors that harvest lightning all around the face of the earth. The coastlines are beautiful, and they're covered with a whole lot of hotels all around. So in areas like Florida, arguably the lightning capital of the world, you'd be able to get quite a bit of energy stored up potentially, if it's possible. See, this hydrostatic pressure from all this salt water is underneath that parking lot and way inland as well. So the buildings would be grounded really well. We can see the brighter spot right in the middle. I'm not sure if I'm going to lose the broadcast temporarily. If I do, uh, the recording on the P1000 will keep on recording. The tidal activity in the Myrtle Beach area, about 25 miles away by the Myrtle Beach airport, is roughly 45 minutes later than here. I've got video of bulldozers and ships and pumping sand up on the beach and moving it around. So they added about 5 feet of elevation here. Zoomed in on a photographer. We can see the moisture in the air. Do you know how much a gallon of water weighs? Well, that depends on the temperature. Temperature changes volume and density of water. When it gets cold enough, it freezes and actually expands to such a point that it'll float on top of the water. Heat it up enough and it will create steam. Think of coal and nuclear fired power plants. How about that? Water drives the cycle of the world. Without water, we don't have life. Just think about it. We don't need to go to Mars to fix it up. We can fix this place up just fine. So that's what I'm talking about. Let's have a different focus. Rather than going off planet, let's just work on this place. Stop poisoning the people and the environment, the population. Give them the truth, healthy nutrition, and the best antivirus protection for the wetware is to actually be born again. That happened to me in 2014. No, I'm sorry, 2014. I'm going to zoom in on the sun right now and shut my donut hole for a minute. So the sun, moon, and stars move above the stationary Earth. That's the biblical proclamation and the observable reality. How about that? Isn't that special? Yeah, it is. Is the Bible a science book? Absolutely. It is for me. It tells me what has happened, what will happen, what it looks like if it has or hasn't happened, like new life in Christ. Now that I'm not a slave to my own selfish desires and I'm actually born again, I have a passion, purpose, an eternal perspective, and the power to do what I previously couldn't do, and the pleasure to enjoy it all, even though it's profoundly unpopular. The truth isn't based on popular opinion. It's not popular and it's not an opinion. It's just the truth. It's just the reality of the situation. So is it true? Whatever you want to know the truth about, whatever you believe, is what you believe true or something else? You ever see the sun look like that? So I'm going to put local sun. I'm going to hashtag local sun in this video. Pretty interesting. I've got a lot of interesting content showing the sun in the midst of the clouds where Job 37 says it is. Some people think I'm just being distractive and causing people to think flat earthers are crazy or stupid because I believe the Bible and that it says the sun is in the midst of the clouds. Well, that's what I see. This isn't the best example of it today, but it's interesting just the same. It's beautiful. So we've got a firmament above the face of the stationary Earth. You can see all the moisture evaporating and condensing over the top of the water there. So the flood that Noah prepared for, God opened up the floodgates of heaven, the fountains of the deep, and caused it to start raining. We've got archaeological evidence of the discovery of Noah's Ark in the mountains of Ararat. Ron Wyatt located that. It's on my channel. You can see it if you want to. So yes, watching YouTube videos is an important part of my research. I've got some videos from the Impossible channel. You ought to take a look at that. There's some pretty wild stuff that people are able to capture with their cell phones and cameras. So we're all cameraed up. Any any phone that's online and broadcasting is available to the artificial intelligence, of course. Artificial intelligence has administrative access to the entire internet. Way smarter than people, has been for a long time. As knowledgeable as AI is, God is all, knows everything. The creator of the real world, the true world, I know him as Jesus. You may know him as Yeshua. I also know him as Yahweh, my heavenly Father, the living word, the living water, the great I am, the Alpha and Omega. So Larry Ellison has a company called Oracle. He's on the board of directors of Tesla. So is Elon. The stock price is rising. If I had a bunch of money to invest in a company, I believe I'd make a lot of money putting it into Tesla. I just don't have a whole bunch of extra cash sitting around. How about that? It's an interesting ride to be sure. I've never seen it look quite like this. Each day is a new day. Pretty amazing. For those of you watching the live broadcast, I would encourage you to come on by and see what I've got going on the P1000 recording. The other thing too is I used to be able to, up until yesterday or so, I used to be able to convert Facebook live broadcasts to YouTube videos. Apparently, I can't do that anymore. There's censorship going on. AI is censoring me. For over a year, I've been encouraging people to make their like videos playlists on YouTube available for everybody to see, and then to like videos. Essentially, that shared them for me tens of millions of times in locations all over. I had copied and pasted in content that's been viewed millions of times. How about that? So thousands is millions. I know I cover a lot of topics. I'm going to have this only be about a half-hour broadcast today, maybe a little bit more. I think I'm at that right now. So I might wrap it up in just a little bit. I talked about the Wuhan virus or the COVID-19 virus, Spanish flu, talked about that yesterday a little bit. There's another virus. It's like a truth virus. It causes people to reject reality, to reject the truth, to not trust what their own eyes and senses can perceive. I'm going to set this down for a little punctuation on reality. It's not moving. The earth doesn't move. That's the observable biblical proclamation and the observable reality, whether you like it or not. So this is not a popularity contest. Telling the truth is not popular. The truth by nature is divisive. I believe God's grace is required to love and believe the truth, let alone find it. So I get to do what I want, pretty much, because God gives me the want to do what He created me to do. As I delight myself in the Lord and all my ways acknowledge Him, He places the desire to do what He created me to do. It's a perfect fit. That's why I'm unapologetically biblical. I would like to see more people activated. Did you see the movie Eagle Eye? Check it out. Check out the movie Eagle Eye if you want to see something interesting. Or the movie The Matrix. One thing I'd like to tell you about Eagle Eye is he says, "You've been activated." I'll tell you, baby, I've been activated. I'm a new creature in Christ. I've got the power of the Spirit living in and through me. That's why I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. It's an awesome reality. I highly encourage it. So I thought I was born again in 1982, and I did ministry activity, worked at a full-time ministry, Rawhide Boys Ranch in New London, Wisconsin, for 11 years. From 91 to '02, we were foster parents for some young men that I worked with there as well. And we homeschooled our sons, and I led some ministry activity at a mega church that I helped build, Christ the Rock Community Church, helped build their $11 million structure in Menasha, Wisconsin. Reason why I tell you that, even though I did ministry activity, it didn't mean I was born again. I was a dead man walking and did not know it. I didn't even know that was possible, that I could think I was born again and be deceived. Well, I was. How about that? Isn't that something? I was pretty upset about it at first, and then I realized, well, God had a different message He wanted to share with humanity through me. So, yeah, there's a lot of religious phonies and snake oil salesmen and charlatans trying to make money off of the gospel. The good news. The good news is that all things are new in Christ. Each day is new. His mercies are new every morning. So I talked to one of my friends from New Zealand this morning at, yeah, it was close to 3 o'clock in the morning. It was like close to 9 o'clock his time in New Zealand. Gordon Scott. Gordon Scott commented on my tweet about the CYBERTRUCK snowplow. I thought it was him. Apparently, there's another Gordon Scott. I'll track down maybe later. The link to my Twitter and Instagram and Facebook are on my YouTube channel if you want to connect that way. So I'm going to do a little bit of a sound check. The P1000 won't get much of a sound on this, but this is what people see when they see me out and about. I'll be wearing the Truth shirt. Wanted to see how the sound check was with this. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching, liking, sharing. So as I interact with people that are in a variety of different activities, photographers, electric motor car enthusiasts, scientists, architects of artificial intelligence, you can see who I'm following on Twitter. Yeah, the architects of AI. How about that? Many of them that are still alive right now. You can see who they are. I don't need to get a chip stuck in my head. Not going for that. Keep in mind there's nanoparticulate, the atmospheric modification. I call it also weather wars. You can hashtag weather wars 101 and see scientific evidence and declassified documents about geoengineering. It goes by different names. Some call it chemtrails, but there's apparently aluminum, barium, strontium, and biological self-replicating nanobots and that type of thing that get incorporated in our physiology, in our wetware of our brain, in our body. That's why I'm perpetually detoxing with the reverse osmosis water. I like to put the water in the sun. Ultraviolet light is abundant and it kills bacteria. It warms it up, expands it. So that's part of the reason why I found out about the weight of water changing or the density of water changing with temperature. Because I would put a gallon of water filled up to the top on my car, and on a warm day, there would end up being a puddle underneath it. It was expanding. I wanted to know what the deal was. Well, the water is a little over 8 pounds. The 5 gallon jugs I carry weigh 44 pounds. A bath is about 25 gallons or so. To plumb it in, so I had reverse osmosis water running throughout the house would be over $100,000. I've got a $200 water system, and I fill up the jugs. That works great. I have high-powered nutrients: spinach, kale, chia seed, hemp hearts, mixed berries, bananas. It's all good. Pineapple, fruit juices, applesauce. I'll mix it to taste. It's not the same thing every day, but it's highly nutritious. I do that because it's food for thought. Food for thought isn't just nutrition, it's also reality, truth. And deception is also food for thought. It's just corrupt. That's the problem with that. I have an appetite for the truth. That was a gift from God. On the zoomed in view, you can see quite a bit of the moisture evaporating. So also the salt water can be electrolyzed. With electricity, you can shatter the bond between oxygen and hydrogen. It's called hydroxygen, HHO. You can cut steel, melt rock. How about that? How about that? So my like video playlist has over 5,000 or about 5,000 videos, and I'm continually adding to my research library. I just keep chipping away at it, and I'll keep on doing that. If you have any questions, you can call me anytime. It's all about perspective. What time is it? Well, depends where you are, apparently. It's the same time, actually. It's just that we see it differently. Good morning. So, roughly 250,000 people die every day of a variety of reasons. About half of them are abortion worldwide. Then, of course, we've got viruses, drunk driving, heart attacks, cancer. Cancer is a fungus. You can kill it with alkalinity, baking soda. Dr. Semenici killed cancerous tumors with baking soda and water. You can check it out. We have about 70% water covering the face of the earth and about 70% water in our bodies. It can be activated with electronics. Some of the biological agents that are being dispersed through aerosol sprays in the air that we breathe are replicating biologicals that have electrical properties where we are electrically operated. No, that sounds weird, Robert. Well, it's true. They'll use a defibrillator, an AED, to resuscitate somebody who has the ticker stop working. Clear? Yeah, when they yell clear, you know you're still awake or you're still aware. You want to know that you're about to get shocked. How about that? So I've got only a couple minutes left on my uh, P1000 recording, and that means I'm just about done with this broadcast. I'll do it like that. It's kind of interesting. I'll put myself on right now and say thanks so much for your public and private encouragement. It's a little bit complicated with a couple of camera views at once. This is also to document, the nighttime turning into daytime. That's part of what this is, to show you that. A lot of the videos that I've shot are out at the point in Cherry Grove. That's just up the view about 2 miles. So I have very meaningful conversations with people that call me at any time of the day or night. It's wonderful. Very encouraging. I appreciate that. It's good to be making a difference. And it's not necessarily me that does it. It's God living in and through me. And I get to go along for the ride. Good morning. Quite often people will come up to me when I'm out here. I don't have my shirt showing right now, but a lot of the locals know who I am, and they subscribe to me, and the surfers that come out here, I've got them on my video on my channel as well. We're expecting about 20 million guests here this year. Pretty amazing. So on my channel, there's a variety of content from all over the world. Talented video producers, time-lapse video of storms, the aurora borealis, the sky moving, the firmament, just the beauty and majesty of creation. I can smell the hint of firewood. You had a really cool temperature, cool, crisp air. It's beautiful. So this is Robert Forsch with the YouTube channel Truth. Thank you so much for your public and private encouragement. Reach out anytime you like. Thank you so much.